Well, welcome to another chat with Tim. Last time we started looking at a little boundaries mini series, and my focus is that people coming out of complex trauma often don't know how to set boundaries because they don't know what their needs are. And once they figure out what their needs are, they're not sure how to communicate those boundaries, how to give consent, how to deny. All of that becomes a set of tools they were never taught growing up. And so last week we looked at kind of just understanding how complex trauma people suppress their needs, lose touch with what their needs are, multiple different ways, and the varying level of needs from the here and now, what makes me feel good, to the deeper, to the deep complex trauma related needs. So what I want to do today is look at practical steps to figure out what my needs are. And so really what you're looking at when you say, what is my need, is what is healthy? What do I desire? That's part of the package. Does this line up with my goals and my values? So needs and values become very, very connected. And next time we're going to look at the values component. So I want to give you 3 practical things you can do to help you begin to start getting in touch with your needs. Now, I want to say up front, be prepared that this doesn't happen overnight. This is a slow process of learning, because if you've suppressed your needs for years and aren't even aware of your needs, this is all brand new territory. And you don't just hear a talk and all of a sudden be a professional at it. This is going to take slow self-awareness growth, slow learning tools, and using the tools. And as you do it, you gradually grow in your awareness of your needs and your ability to meet needs and your ability to set boundaries. So be patient with the process. Don't look so much at the destination as enjoying the process. So number 1 is really become aware of your 12 needs and how to diagnose yourself in relation to those 12 needs. A foundation piece of my work in understanding complex trauma and understanding recovery is the 12 needs. We have a self-study course on it because it is so essential. But there's 12 needs, and they cover physical, emotional, relational, intellectual, spiritual needs. So we are more than just a physical body. We're an intellectual, emotional, relational, spiritual body. And we have needs in all of those areas. So we have a need to resolve pain so that we can get back to pleasure. That's where the brain wants to be. We have a need in the physical world for food, water, shelter, safety. Then we have this need that develops a drive initially for sex. And for some, they don't have this need as much as others, but for many, it becomes a powerful piece of their life. And then relationships. And within relationships, because we're not made to be alone, we're made to connect. We're made for intimacy. Then part of relationships and being able to connect and have intimacy is they have to be safe. There has to be love. So we have a massive need for love. And that includes acceptance, being able to be authentic, nurturing, validating, respecting, being seen, being heard, being understood. All of those come under the love need. Then we have a need for security, and then a need for purpose and significance, then a need for rest and play. So we need to work hard, but we need to take care of ourselves. We need to be serious. We need to enjoy life. And then there's this deep need for beauty. We're drawn to beauty. It feeds our soul. And then a sense of awe, to be so overwhelmed with something bigger than us that it just feeds our soul. then the spiritual, and finally, everything, if those needs are met, leads to contentment. And that's a massive need. The brain wants to feel content. So, in very practical terms, when I show that list to people, they will understand their physical needs, some of their emotional and relational needs, but a lot of that will be blank. So I encourage them to put the 12 needs list on the fridge, and then every day they're going to do a couple things. Number one, they're going to do an inventory of how am I doing at my awe need being met? How am I doing at my beauty need being met? How am I doing at my play rest need being met? Purpose significant. They're going to go through and evaluate and listen to themselves to see if those needs are being met. But also what they're doing is developing, how do I meet my beauty need in a way that suits me? How do I meet my awe need in a way that suits me? So my awe need is met in a way that's different than how my wife meets her awe need. My rest play need is met in a different way than meets my wife's rest play need. So we're wired differently, and that's okay. I need to figure out how best to meet those needs in myself. So I'm keeping a list of practical things that I can do to meet those needs in my life. So I'm now getting a list over here on a healthy diet, a healthy sleep regimen, a healthy exercise regimen. So I'm taking care of my physical needs. I'm making needs about relationships and how people, if they don't respect me, I'm gone. Red flags that if that's what you do, I'm not going to allow this relationship to develop. I am doing all of those things so that I am figuring out how to keep myself safe, healthy, meet my needs. That becomes very important. So some people like to do this in the morning and at night and then see how they've done through the day. So what I want you to realize is every time there's a discontent where you're feeling triggered, your limbic brain will want to go, oh, I just need this. But if you go back to, no, I'm discontent and triggered right now because one of my 12 needs is not met, then go through your list and figure out which need or needs are not being met, and then what you need to do to meet them. Now understand that often if you realize, okay, my beauty need is not being met, I therefore need to sit and just listen to some really good music that just takes me to a place of awe. Understand that you might resist that because discontent wants to pull you to instant gratification. It doesn't want to pull you to feeding your soul. Or maybe if your beauty need is not being met, you need to go and connect with somebody or read a really deep book that makes you think at a deep level. There's a resistance often to the very things necessary to meeting your needs. And so you have to learn to push past that to your cortex and say, no, I am going to do these things because I know after doing it for 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to be glad I did. Second, learn to listen to your body. Let your body become a teacher of what you need, a guide to you of what you need. Now, again, this is going to take time to get proficient at listening to your body. But what I encourage people to do is just get quiet, go into their body, and listen to what it's telling you. So is there pain in your body anywhere? Are there sensations in your gut, in your chest, in your throat, in your neck, in any of your muscles? What are they telling you? So start with, what are you noticing in your body right now? Secondly, what sensations tell you that you want something? So learn to discern that if I'm getting this feeling in my gut, it's telling me that I need something. If I'm getting this feeling in my chest, it's telling me that I need something. What is it that I need when I get that feeling in that part of my body? Then take it farther. What sensations tell you that you don't want something or need something? What sensations tells you that something feels right? And what sensation tells you that something feels wrong or off? As you develop, your body will begin to tell you this feels right. Now that might be a little misguided at first based on old templates. So you need to check that out with others. But over time, your body will give you the sensations and you'll know what to look for. This feels right. Or this feels off. So another way to say that is, where in your body do you feel a yes? And where in your body do you feel a no? Begin to figure that out. Then you're going to have times where people kind of push themselves on you. So they push themselves into your life and you tolerate it. You allow it, but you're not totally happy with it. So can you notice the difference between wanting somebody's involvement in your life and tolerating somebody's involvement in your life? Because it will feel different in your body. So another way to say this is, if your body could speak, what would it ask for? You can give that some thought. Or if your body could speak, what would it want more of or less of? That's a helpful question. So what these questions are doing is shifting understanding your needs from just a mental exercise to actually including all of your body in the dialogue, not just your brain. That is very helpful. Then the third thing is, listen to your emotions. Your emotions, again, tell you so much. They're signals that point to your needs. So, again, stop. What are you feeling in your emotions right now? If you followed that feeling, what is it asking for? So if you followed your anxiety, what is it asking for? If you followed your anger, what is it pointing you to? Take it even deeper. What's underneath the emotion? What's causing that emotion? Then take it even deeper. What are you longing for right now? If you were to get really quiet, what is it you long for? Then take it another direction. What is it that hurts right now? And what would soothe that hurt a little bit? Or another direction. What is it right now that would make you feel the most alive? Another one. What is it that you need to feel more connected to yourself? So again, this is going to be, you're going to learn gradually questions to ask yourself, what your emotions are trying to tell you, how to interpret your emotions, but they are pointing you to your needs. And this is just to get you started. Now, there's an important piece here, and that is to distinguish between a desire and a need, a want and a need. Okay, so often a want, I need a hug. I want you to touch me. I want you to hug me. It hides a need. Okay, I need to be cared for. I need to be nurtured. I need to be validated that I matter. So often a want, a desire, it's more surface. It's more in the here and now, and it's partly true, but there's a deeper thing that needs to be explored, a deeper need than just the current physical Band-Aid on the pain, the wound situation. So explore from the desire to what's the want or what's the need under the desire. There's another part that's with this, and that is if you've done something every day as a habit for years. So let's say every day for a habit, you've gone out and bought yourself a Coca-Cola, and your brain is expecting at 3 o'clock every afternoon, you're going to have a Coca-Cola. So now if you go without a Coca-Cola for a day, your brain is going to go, I want a Coke. I need a Coke. And what you have to realize is Is this want just because of a habit that I've had for years and it's not what I truly need? So that becomes a tricky piece, because for many people coming out of complex trauma, a lot of their maladaptive behaviors become habits. They isolate, they escape into dissociative places, and they begin to want that every day. They have an urge for it and they think they need it. So you have to make the distinction between, from what do I want? Is that out of habit, or is that out of a healthy need, desiring something? Such an important thing. Something else that might help you is when you go, what do I want? It's what am I hungry for? Deep down. Underneath, okay, I want a Coke, but what do I really hunger for? See if that leads to any new insight. And then, okay, here's what I want, but what would nourish my soul the most? That becomes an important question. So if you think you're antsy and your brain says, I just want to veg, but you know in your cortex that if you just vegged for the afternoon, yeah, it'd make you feel better, but it wouldn't feed your soul. And so by the end of the day, you would actually be more antsy. And so again, it's figuring out what is the true need here. So the true need is, maybe I need to connect. Maybe I need to fulfill my purpose a little bit. Maybe I need just to take some time to really take care of my needs. That's what's causing me to be so antsy. And again, part of you is going to resist doing the things that meet the true needs, because the limbic brain just wants a quick fix. So all of this, where do you go from that? You're reconnecting to the internal signals your body, your emotions have been giving you all along, but complex trauma caused you to suppress. So you're starting to gradually rebuild, listening to them, connecting to them, learning to meet them. All of that becomes so important. Because you might want to just do an exercise every day, a couple of times a day, where you just stop and say, okay, let's listen to my body. Let's listen to my emotions. What are they trying to tell me? And then start just writing down, taking notes, paying attention to it. And gradually it's going to evolve into a clearer and clearer understanding of the messages and a better ability to listen to them and diagnose them. That's what we're aiming for. So I hope you will set this as a project for yourself. I think you'll find great benefit from it.